Linux is life-changing. You need to learn it. There's so much you can do that... Let me just show you. Let me give you an example here. You need to learn Linux. My boss today, I work at a company, I work on mobile apps a lot, Android and iOS, and we have an app. And this here, my boss gave me, needs to be a background. But you know, phones also have light mode. He was envisioning only the dark mode of the app. He didn't give me the corresponding light mode image. Well, I could go and email him and say, can you talk to the graphics, to the digital, the designers and stuff, and give me the image, and that might take a couple days or whatever if they're busy. But what I did is I took this, and using Linux, first I transformed it into that, and then I transformed it into this, and I think this is a nice light mode image. It's nice and bright, and it's the same image as this one, but I changed the colors. Now, if you weren't educated, if you didn't know Linux and command line tools, you might be tempted to go buy something like Photoshop to do this, and that's a ludicrous $23 a month. So here's how you do it. Here's how I did it, and maybe this will be helpful for you. We use a wonderful tool called ImageMagick. You invoke it using the convert command, but let me show you. If you run convert is actually calling an ImageMagick program, okay? So we're typing convert, but what we're using is ImageMagick. Don't worry about that, why that is. It doesn't matter. So what we're going to do, though, is we're going to convert. We'll take the input image. Watch how fast this is. There's the input image. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the background color into gray. I'm going to turn it into a light gray. So the input, we'll put fill. This is the color that we want. I'm going to specify it as RGB. And I want it to be a light gray. So like 240, 240, 240. That's pretty close to white. So that's like a gray that's almost white. And then the thing I'm changing is black, opaque black. And then the output will be output1.png. Okay, so we're going to convert this original. This is the image my boss gave me. And then I'm going to fill it in with this gray color, 240, 240, 240. And I'm going to fill in all the parts that were black with that color. And then I'll just save output.1 image. Let's take a look there. And it looks pretty good. So the black background is now white, but there's a little bit of these specks. Now that can actually be kind of like an insidious problem. But ImageMagick, when it's in a simple case like this, ImageMagick can handle it. So we're going to run the same command. And we're going to put fuzz. I'm going to give a little fuzz factor here. And that's going to say, like, don't match only black, but also match things that are, like, within 5% similarity to black. And I think that ought to do it in this case. But you're going to need to play around, of course. So we'll call that output 1. And there you go. Yeah, all those little specks are gone. There had been all those little specks, but now the background is perfect. Now I just want to turn all the tools white. And so the way we'll do that is, so now I have an image called output 1. So I'm going to convert that output 1. I'm going to fill that in white, and I'm going to fill in anywhere. So, those tools, I don't know exactly what color that is. I do have ways to find out what color that is, but I'm just going to take a guess. That's a gray, and it's pretty close to black. So I'm just going to use that knowledge and make a guess here. We're going to convert output 1. We're going to fill it in with white. And the color that we want to turn white is an RGB value that's pretty dark. So like 20, 20, 20, that's a gray that's pretty close to black. I keep typing wrong. That's a gray that's pretty close to black. And, this isn't going to work unless I'm super lucky. So let me check out my output 2. And yeah, that didn't work. But remember, we have that fuzz factor. So I know that this 20 color is pretty darned close. This is pretty close to the color of those tools. So let me just give it that little fuzz factor we were talking about so I don't have to get the color exactly. And we'll say the fuzz got to come here, I believe. And I'll just try with 5% fuzz ought to do it, but maybe I need a little more. Yeah, we got it. So that's how you do it. I talked too long, about 5 minutes, but you saw I could have spent almost $20-some a month with Adobe for a software to do this, or I could do it myself with free Linux tools on the command line. And just doing this myself, I did this in like 2 seconds. I had to talk in the video, so I talked for 5 minutes, but once you learn this tool, it takes you 2 seconds. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'll give you the link to the documentation. There's all kinds of cool things you can do here. And, you know, for me, it's become second nature to use this tool. Linux is just awesome. It's so cool. The command line tools are just really wonderful, really mature. You can read through here. There's all kinds of... this document here is about color basics. So you play around with this if you want. Read through it. ImageMagick is a very useful tool, I'll tell you. I use it every day. Not every day. Every month, say. I always have these image issues I got to deal with. So anyway, I talked too long, but there you have it. ImageMagick.